Greg Sherman here, Mr. Bowtie 1982 here on Twitter. Thank you so much for joining me and on YouTube as well at Mr. Bowtie 1982. It's a big time here in San Antonio with the boys and girls high school basketball state championships wrapped up and the NCAA tournament being held mostly here in San Antonio. So a chance to catch up with some of the high school alums that will be playing in the tournament. Alyssa Smith, Kiana Williams, Sahara Jones, and also Gabby Connally from Brandeis High School. Gabby's now at the University of Georgia. They're having a great season. They'll be playing in the NCAA tournament. Gabby, first off, thanks for joining us, and it's got to feel good to be heading back to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And yeah, it feels really good. I'm sure that I'll have some friends and family that'll be in the stands, so I'm really excited.
Certainly, the end. We knew the Final Four was going to be coming back to the Alamo Dome, but with the entire tournament outside of a few games, it'll be in San Marcos and at the University of Texas in Austin. Most of it's going to be here, so I'm sure you and the other San Antonio high school alums are probably excited that you're not going to get a chance to host games in Athens. You're going to end up coming to San Antonio.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Just a thought first off on coming back to San Antonio. I know you lose the home court advantage that you get in the women's tournament instead of being able to play games in Athens, having to come here. First off, just the thought on that.
Yeah, our fans are great, so it is a little unfortunate that we won't be able to host here at home because I know they would show up and show out for us, and they've been great at every game. And I'm sure some of them will be able to make the trip. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's unfortunate that I won't be able to play my last few games here at home.
It's kind of interesting talking to some of the other players from the area that we're used to the women's tournament having a favorite, Tennessee in the 90s, Connecticut over the last several years, but this really feels like the first time in a very long time that there is no favorite. Even seeing all the teams in the SEC, Kiana Williams with Stanford and Alyssa Smith with Baylor, that this really kind of feels like the first time in a while. This is a very wide open tournament.
Yeah, there are a lot of great teams out there, well-coached teams, and it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a battle every single game. And for us here at the University of Georgia, we know we just want to play hard and compete, and we're looking to make a deep run in the tournament.
How do you prepare for this tournament knowing that not only do you not know who you're going to play, but you officially don't know where you're going to play? Could be here in San Antonio, could be at St. Mary's, could be at Texas State, could be at UT.
Right, we're just focused on taking it one day at a time, really. And our coaches, they'll have us prepared, and when we do find out who will play, they'll obviously have a plan for us, and it's up to us as players to execute that plan and go out, play hard, compete, and hopefully we come out on the winning side of things.
You played at Brandeis. Brandeis continuing to grow their boys basketball team, went to the state semifinals in 2020. You didn't get a chance to play in the state semifinals because of all the strong teams coming out of Judson ISD, Wagner when they were 6A. How have you noticed the girls basketball beginning to get better where now the girls teams are beginning to compete better with DFW and Houston?
Yeah, there are a lot of great players coming out of San Antonio. The first one that comes to mind is Carly Wenzel. When I go back home, a lot of times, like she trains where I train at, and so I try to encourage her and bring positivity, share a little bit of my experience that I've had here at the University of Georgia, and I know she recently just committed to Virginia Tech, I believe, and that's big. I'm very excited for her, and a huge congratulations to her. But there are other great players too coming out of San Antonio now, and it's just good for the city that they're able to represent the city as well as they do.
You were obviously in Athens when Judson finally won the first state championship in girls basketball in the immediate San Antonio area. We saw the ramifications about how it's kind of built up the area. How did you notice it from a few thousand miles away?
uh, honestly, um, I'm sorry. Wait, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, talking to some of the other players like Kiana when she was out at Stanford about how the ripple effects are beginning to happen now, where people are noticing San Antonio more after Judson finally broke that state championship drought with Kira White, who's playing at USC, and Kira Sanderlin, who's going to be going at Rutgers. I was asking, How have you noticed maybe San Antonio, maybe from afar, beginning to get better in with that championship?
Yeah, I think it's like I said, there are really good players coming out of there now. Or not just now, but there have been in the past as well. And I'm glad that people are starting to notice because like you mentioned, it's usually Dallas and Houston that people are really looking at, but San Antonio is also on the come up and there have been great players to come out of there and play on the big stage and do really well and for San Antonio to finally be getting that recognition is huge and obviously come being from there and growing up there, it feels really good. And I'm sure the players that are there now uh, feel really good about it too as well.
You obviously have had a chance to go up against Sahara Jones at Texas A&M a few times this season. She got Veterans Memorial to the state championship game twice in her 3 years. I don't know if you've had a chance to talk to her much outside of when you all have been competing, but how do the players interact also with Melissa Smith and Kiana Williams among others?
Yeah, just when we were all in high school, when we would see each other at tournaments and such, AAU for example, we all spoke and we all wished each other well because we all are from the same city and we just want to do our city, make our city proud and represent them as well as we can. Um, but they're all big time players and they've all had success. Well, Sarah's just starting her career, but Nalissa is having a big time year. Kiana is having a big time year and has had big time years in the past. And obviously, I'm just watching from a distance, but um, I'm really happy for them, and I wish them nothing but success moving forward. Um, and I actually got to play against Nalissa. I believe it was last year. Baylor did beat us, but it was great to compete against her at this level, the level we're at now in college basketball, and just for her to be able to continue to do big things and rep her city and rep her family, it's great for her, and I wish her nothing but the best moving forward as well, because she still does have one more year at Baylor. So.
The common theme with talking to a lot of these San Antonio players coming into the NCAA tournament is kind of being ambassadors, showing people that San Antonio is great basketball. Do you feel more pressure representing San Antonio because it's a hometown tournament for you, or do you still feel more pressure at Georgia because Georgia is one of the many contenders to win the title?
Uh, I don't really feel any pressure. I just feel blessed to be where I am now, and be able to play because this year has been rough for everyone, and we didn't even know if we were going to have a season. So I'm really really appreciative of being able just to play, and I give it my all every game because you don't know whether that's going to be your last game or not. Um, and for the season to end the way it did last year, it just puts that into perspective. And so I'm really grateful and I am looking forward to going back home. I don't really feel any pressure and we're really just focused on what we need to do to be able to win games and make that deep run in the tournament, which is all our goal. We want to end this year with the national championship, obviously along with other people that are playing at their respective schools. And so we just really want to focus on us and what we have to do to win.
Brandeis out of Northside ISD, they along with Clark went into the Northeast ISD district for athletics because of Northside having 11 high schools now at 6A. So Brandeis and Clark move in with Reagan. Reagan had Samantha Wagner, who is sophomore, who's probably going to be going to Baylor. You have the rest of Northeast in there. And that sounds like a district that I'm sure you would probably wish you could get maybe another year just to be able to compete in that district because of how strong that district is in rivaling what Judson and the Wagner and Steele district.
Yes, I wasn't aware until you just told me that they had moved into the Northeast ISD, but that's great for them to be able to go in every day and compete against other great schools, um, and schools that are doing well, and it just shows you how competitive it is, and it's going to be moving forward. It's going to be no easy games, and obviously cheering for Brandeis and all those games where I come from, wishing Coach Brewer well, and hopefully they can continue to be successful.
And finally, get you out of here on this one. Catch us up on how you've been. We obviously see you playing basketball and stuff, but catch us up on how the rest of Gabby Connally's life is going.
Yeah, I've been good. I've been doing well. I've graduated with my bachelor's in criminal justice. I'm pursuing my master's in public administration, And I've fortunately known what I wanted to do for a long time now. I want to work in federal law enforcement. And I actually will be interning with the Secret Service this summer. So that's really big. I'm really excited about that. And when the ball does stop bouncing for me, here at the University of Georgia has done a great job of preparing not only me, but whoever else comes through this athletic department for the future. So I feel very prepared for life after basketball, and I'm really fortunate. Um, and just grateful that have I feel like I chose the right school, and coming here and playing for Coach Joni and the rest of the coaching staff, and playing alongside my teammates. It's something I'm gonna miss. It's a bittersweet that this is my last year, but as I said, I am ready for life after basketball and what's to come next.
Gabby Connally, who, if Georgia doesn't make it all the way to the Final Four, she may end up also working security. So a chance to do two for the price of one at the Alamo Dome. Gabby, really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you here in San Antonio.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.